Morgan Freeman has always been a man of few but powerful words. Known for his calm wisdom and commanding voice, he played everything from presidents to prisoners. But at 88, with a lifetime of memories and movies behind him, Freeman finally opened up, not about awards, not about regrets, but about love. A rare, heartfelt revelation. The 6 actors who touched his soul, on and off screen. These are the names that shaped his journey, inspired his craft, and earned his deepest respect. And trust us, some will surprise you. Let's uncover the names that brought Morgan Freeman to admiration and awe. Before we dive into video, please subscribe to our channel. Morgan Freeman's acting career spans over 5 decades. From his early beginnings on the stage to becoming one of Hollywood's most iconic voices, his journey has not just been about roles, it's been about people. Freeman, known for his discipline and humility, has always kept his opinions close to his chest. He rarely indulges in gossip, never feeds drama, and maintains a dignified silence in an industry that thrives on noise. But behind that soft-spoken exterior is a man deeply moved by talent, generosity, and raw human spirit. Over the years, Morgan has crossed paths with legends. Some challenged him, some mentored him, some simply shared a moment so powerful it stayed with him for life. At 88, reflecting on his life and career, he was asked a surprisingly personal question. Which actors did you truly love working with? Instead of brushing it off, Freeman paused, and then he smiled. What followed was a beautiful tribute to 6 artists, not because of their fame, but because of their integrity, energy, and kindness. These are not just names on a marquee. They are people who left a permanent mark on Freeman's heart. From late-night conversations on set to life-changing performances, each of these actors gave Freeman something he could never forget. Let's dive in. Number 1. Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman. Bond with Clint Eastwood goes far beyond the screen. Their first major collaboration, Unforgiven, 1992, won 4 Oscars and cemented a lifelong friendship. But what Freeman loves most about Clint is not the awards or legacy. It's his quiet strength. Clint, like Freeman, avoids the Hollywood circus. He shows up, works hard, and lets the art speak. Freeman once said, "Clint does not direct with his mouth, he directs with his eyes." That calm, intuitive leadership made a lasting impact on Morgan, who admires Eastwood's no-bull approach and razor-sharp instincts. Off-camera, Clint and Morgan often shared long silences, comfortable ones, filled with unspoken respect. When they reunited for $1 Million Baby in 2004, Freeman was amazed by Clint's growth, not just as a director, but as a human being. The film earned Freeman his first Oscar, but he insists that the real win was watching Eastwood's quiet genius unfold up close. Morgan has often described Clint as a man of principle, someone who leads by example without preaching. In an industry filled with ego and noise, Eastwood gave Freeman something rare, peace. And in Freeman's own words, "Clint gave me space to be myself. That's the greatest gift one actor can give another." Number 2. Denzel Washington. Among all the actors Morgan Freeman has admired, Denzel Washington stands tall, not just for his extraordinary talent, but for his relentless integrity. Freeman once described Denzel as a force of nature, a man who carries both the burden and beauty of every role with unmatched commitment. The respect between them has always been mutual, even if they have only shared limited screen time together. What Freeman loves about Denzel is not just the intensity he brings to characters, it's the discipline. Denzel does not chase fame or flirt with cant. Rovercy. He hones his craft like a warrior, always pushing boundaries, always asking questions. Freeman has said, "Denzel is proof that excellence is not loud, it's focused." They have shared many conversations over the years, at awards shows, private dinners, and industry panels, and Freeman has always left those moments with a deeper respect for Denzel's quiet wisdom and unwavering principles. He's seen how Denzel carries his heritage, his faith, and his community with pride and humility. What truly moved Freeman was Denzel's performance in Glory, 1989. He recalled watching that performance and thinking, "This young man just changed the game." Years later, when Denzel won the Oscar for Training Day, Morgan Freeman was among the first to applaud. To Freeman, Denzel is more than a peer. He's a symbol of excellence, dignity, and grace in a world that often forgets what those words mean. As Freeman put it, if the next generation of actors had one Denzel to follow, the future would be in good hands. Number 3. Robin Williams. Morgan Freeman's admiration for Robin Williams is laced with both joy and sorrow. While their on-screen moments were few, their off-screen encounters left a lasting impression on Freeman's heart. He often referred to Robin as a lightning bolt of kindness and brilliance, someone who could walk into a silent room and leave it ringing with laughter and light. Freeman once said, "Robin did not just perform, he felt. Every joke came from pain, every character from compassion." What Freeman loved most was not Robin's speed or wit, it was his empathy. He made everyone feel seen, especially those who were often overlooked. The two actors crossed paths at charity galas and industry events, but it was during a fundraiser for children's hospitals where Freeman saw the real Robin Williams, not the comedian, not the celebrity, but the man. Robin spent hours with sick children, no cameras, no PR, just hugs, laughter, and puppet voices that filled the sterile rooms with hope. Freeman has often reflected on how Robin wore a mask of joy to hide his inner battles. He gave the world so much happiness, even when he was carrying sadness of his own, Freeman once shared in an interview. His tragic passing hit Freeman deeply, as it did the entire world. To this day, Freeman honors Robin's memory not just as a brilliant performer, but as a soul who gave more than he ever received. In Freeman's words, Robin did not just touch lives, he lifted them. Number 4. Jessica Tandy. Morgan Freeman's relationship with Jessica Tandy was nothing short of magical. When they starred together in Driving Miss Daisy, 1989, the film did not just earn critical acclaim, it formed a bond that would stay with Freeman for the rest of his life. He often calls Jessica Tandy the most gracious actress I've ever worked with. Freeman was relatively newer to mainstream Hollywood at the time, while Jessica was already a Broadway legend. But she never treated him like a newcomer. Instead, she treated him as an equal, a partner. Freeman said, "She listened, truly listened. And when someone listens to you like that, you give your best performance." Their chemistry on screen came from real mutual respect. Behind the scenes, Jessica would gently encourage Morgan, often sharing stories about stage life, Shakespeare, and the golden age of acting. Freeman credits her with teaching him one of his greatest lessons: presence. Jessica did not act, she became. Watching her, I learned that sometimes the smallest movements carry the loudest meanings. When Jessica won the Academy Award for Driving Miss Daisy, Freeman stood and clapped with pride. He did not win that night, but he always said he walked away with something more valuable: a friend and mentor. After her passing in 1994, Freeman spoke emotionally about the loss, saying, "The world lost a lady, I lost a light." Even decades later, he remembers her warmth, her professionalism, and her elegance with great affection. To Morgan Freeman, Jessica Tandy was a quiet giant. Number 5. Sidney Poitier. When Morgan Freeman speaks about Sidney Poitier, his voice softens with reverence. To Freeman, Sidney was not just a beloved actor. He was a pathfinder, a man who carved a road through rock, so others like Freeman could one day walk on solid ground. Sidney did not open doors, Freeman once said, he built them. Growing up, Morgan idolized Sidney Poitier. He watched Lilies of the Field and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, not just for the stories, but to witness a black man command the screen with elegance, power, and pride. Poitier made it possible for Freeman to believe he could one day belong in that world too. When they finally met in person, Freeman was already established, but he felt like a student in the presence of a master. He carried dignity like a crown, Freeman recalled. Just standing next to him made you want to stand taller. Though they never shared the screen, their bond was built on shared experiences, navigating an industry that too often limited their roles and voices. Sidney's quiet strength and unwavering grace inspired Freeman to choose roles with purpose, to never settle for caricature. When Poitier passed in 2022, Freeman called him a beacon in the dark, the reason I ever believed this path could be walked. The love he holds for Sidney is not just personal, it's generational. It's the love of a younger lion for the elder who roared first. To Freeman, Sidney Poitier was not just an actor. He was a revolution in a suit. Number 6. Tom Hanks, Morgan Freeman. Admiration for Tom Hanks is rooted in something rare in Hollywood: authenticity. Freeman has often said that Tom is as good a man as he is an actor, and that's saying something. Hanks's honesty, humility, and commitment to his craft have always stood out to Freeman, who believes Hanks represents everything right about the industry. Though they haven't starred in a major fight yet, together, Freeman and Hanks have shared many stages, events, and conversations over the years, and every time Freeman walks away thinking, this man never changes. No ego, no show, just kindness, curiosity, and a genuine love for storytelling. Freeman once remarked, "Tom reminds me why I fell in love with acting in the first place. He respects how Hanks approaches every role, from Forrest Gump to Saving Private Ryan, with full emotional honesty, never faking a single moment. And off-screen, Hanks's reputation as the nicest guy in Hollywood is not a media invention. It's real. They have spoken at length about the responsibility actors carry to reflect truth, to spark empathy, and to bring light into dark places. For Freeman, Tom embodies all of that. He sees him not just as a colleague, but as a quiet moral compass in an often chaotic industry. Morgan once said, "If I had a brother in this business, it would be Tom." That's not just praise. It's a reflection of deep, abiding love for a man who wears goodness like a second skin. At 88, Morgan Freeman reflections are not about fame or fortune. They are about connection. These 6 actors were not just stars in his sky. They were kindred spirits who shaped his soul. From Eastwood's silence to Williams's laughter, from Tandy's grace to Poitier's legacy, each left a sacred fingerprint on Freeman's journey. He did not choose them for popularity, he chose them for truth. In a world obsessed with noise, Morgan reminds us that love in this industry is not loud, it's lasting. And as his voice continues to echo through generations, so will the love he held for these remarkable artists.